Kata, or forms, are probably one of the most misunderstood aspects of traditional martial arts like karate, kung fu, Kenpo, anything else. People seem to think, for some reason, that katas are designed to be applied directly to fighting. That's not the point. The purpose of the forms is to teach you your basics in motion with other basics, pretty much, right? So you're learning sequence, you're learning timing, you're learning moves. Now, there are some techniques hidden in those that you can apply directly to fighting, but it's more of an adaptation thing rather than a direct thing. So for example, one of our forms in Kenpo, one of the basic beginner forms, is called long form 1, and I'll just go through part of it. So the first part is we step back and block, and then we do a punch. Then we go into a cat stance like this, we step back and block, and then we do a punch. I'm just gonna start with that part. That can be applied to an attacker, right? So let's say he tried to punch me in the face, and I blocked, and then I punched. It would basically be like that, right? He tries to attack me with the other hand, block, punch, right? That's all we're doing. We're drilling a basic maneuver to teach you that basic move. And it gives you an opportunity to practice those basics by yourself. Maybe you don't have a training partner. Maybe you're just at home and you're not at the school, you're not at the gym training. You can always do your forms by yourself. Another one that I really like is short form 3. So short form 3 starts just like this. In the first move, we step forward like this, we tuck our chin, we do 2 punches like this, and then we step to the side, do a block, heel palm, grab, pull, punch, and then we come up and do a cat stance like this, do a little flick, crash down, come over here, elbow, hammer fist. Now that's just the first couple moves, but just watching that with no context just looks like I'm waving my arms and legs around like an idiot. The reality of it is very different. There are practical applications to each of those moves. Now the first one is a technique called destructive twins. It's against a 2-hand choke from the front. So if he comes up and chokes me from the front, I could do pretty much anything from here. What we're gonna do is punch him in the face. Now bend your elbows. Good, so the idea of this is that his elbows are bent because he wants to get in close and really get good leverage. Because if his elbows are straight, it becomes really easy for you to just duck under this thing and get out. So if his elbows are bent, it's a little bit harder to get out. So instead we step forward, punch. And then from here we just step offline, walk his arms away, hit him in the face. And then maybe his arms come up, maybe they don't. Either way, we grab his arms, pull and punch him in the chest. Now, as I've already explained in a short form video, it's not necessarily gonna look exactly like that in a self-defense scenario. Every single part of these techniques are ways to teach you applications of basics. They are not necessarily gonna translate perfectly to self-defense, right? Because there's like a million different variables that go into that stuff. You know, he might slip, his foot might be in a different spot. This is just designed to teach us some of the moves in a sequence so that we can learn them. So for example, if he choked me like this is teaching me how I can deal with this by punching him and stepping into him. Or I can even do it stepping away from him, I can still punch him. If I can't step away from him, I can step forward and punch him. And then I'm dealing with clearing these arms, getting them out of my way. Great. And then I'm looking for openings. What's open? Ribs are open, head is open. So I can punch him in the rib, I can punch him in the head, heel palm him in the head, I can punch him in the ribs. Or I'm also learning I can pull arms and I can use that to control him while I punch him. The next part of the form was, we did this part, and then we came up here and did this. Well, this cat stance is sort of a transitional stance. You can use this to kick. This is an eye poke. So let's say he was coming in really close to maybe push me or choke me or anything like that. This would come up and catch him in the eyes. Maybe I flick his glasses up, maybe I'm just hitting him in the face with both of them, something like that. And then the next part, we crash out like this. That is a technique called crashing wings. So he grabs me like this in a bear hug, and his goal is to pick me up and throw me. Pick me up. Yeah, like that. So, very simple, the first move was this, right? Because we're dropping our weight. So if he tries to pick me up and I drop my weight, it's a lot harder for him to pick me up now, which gives me time to do this part, where I slide my leg behind him, and then I elbow him in the face. And then maybe he falls over, Or if he doesn't fall over, then we hammer him to make him fall over, yeah? So, the forms in traditional martial arts, the katas in traditional martial arts, are not meant for directly applying to fighting. They are meant as training tools to let you train by yourself, but also to help teach people the basics in motion with timing. It's just like shadow boxing, it's just like drilling, except it requires a little bit less skill from the student to learn it because we're just teaching them a sequence of choreographed moves. And then you can take those moves, analyze all the different parts of them, and figure out what the application is. Or if you have a good teacher or a good style, they'll teach you what those applications are, right? Like they'll teach you what this can do, what this can be, stuff like that. So when you're looking at traditional martial arts, when you're looking at karate, when you're looking at Kenpo, those forms, those katas, try to think of them as training tools. They are designed to teach you the moves and teach you different applications of those moves. They are not necessarily designed to translate directly into fighting.